he'll just be like, stop freaking out. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You're freaking out.
A good boy's perspective.
Yeah. His advice is very simple.
Yeah. I like that.
You're freaking out. Stop.
Yeah. The end.
Exactly.
Put the phone down.
Stop it.
And when you are on tour and it does get crazy and I'm sure at times overwhelming, how do you check yourself? How do you stay healthy and stay so grounded with it all?
Well, sometimes it's not possible.
Yeah.
You know, with kind of the chemical balance of your brain, sometimes you just aren't able to calm down. And I think that allowing yourself to feel okay about that is important because a lot of the time we feel overwhelmed or we feel insecure or we feel sad or we feel depressed. And then on top of that, we feel guilty for feeling those things. And so it compounds it. And so it's just the most amount of negative emotions you can possibly be feeling. So I think that has to do with being a songwriter too. Some of the greatest lessons I've learned and the best songs I've written have come from when I didn't feel good about something. And so I just allow my brain to work through it on its own, and then sometimes I write a song about it and it makes me feel better about it.
Do you think that females in the music industry kind of get a tougher time because there's not only the focus on what you're doing musically, but there's the whole aesthetics of it, people wanting to know what you're wearing, why you're wearing it, what you look like, how tall you are, how thin you are, how fat you are. There's a whole other realm to it that guys don't necessarily have to deal with.
Exactly. I mean, I definitely feel that way, and I get that question all the time, the question that's like, well, why don't you dress like, and then they name a few girls in the industry and they're like, why, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, well, you wouldn't be asking Bruno Mars why he doesn't take his clothes off.
That wouldn't happen.
You wouldn't be, because he's known for being a musician.
Yeah.
And I'm known for being a musician too. It's just a choice you make. It's what you wear, what you want to wear as a musician, hopefully. And hopefully that comes from your own vision for yourself. You know, when I look around and I see at these award shows, you see people wearing anything from, like, if you see Florence and the Machine, she's in like this beautiful flowing gown, or if you see, you know, someone else wearing a bikini on stage, I'm totally fine with both as long as it comes from that individual artist. I wouldn't like to think that there's a team of managers or image consultant type people who are saying you need to wear less clothes so you'll sell more albums.
Absolutely.
But as long as a woman feels like she's expressing her own sexuality or feels empowered looking a certain way on stage, just follow that.
Yeah, exactly.
I applaud that, but I do think it's harder for women. I honestly do. In music, in everyday life, in the media, the perceptions are a lot harsher when you're talking about a woman, and I think it's just a fact at this point.
It is, definitely. Going back to just the music and what you're about, obviously your songs are known for being so beautifully raw and exposing in the best possible way. Do you ever feel some of the songs that you have written and have been released that you've said too much?
No,
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've only ever written about what I have wanted to write about, and I feel really lucky that even though I started very young, I was never a puppet.
Yeah.
I never felt like I was playing a role or like I was doing what some people behind the scenes wanted me to do, because I was always in control of all of the material. And when you're writing all the songs, everything else just kind of comes from that. And, you know, I've gone through all kinds of different phases as to how I've looked, and all those phases have been up to me. So I look back and, like, there was a phase where I just wore dresses and cowboy boots. There was a phase where I would just wear, like, 50s and 60s inspired things. And it's nice to look back and know that even if you think an outfit's embarrassing or something, like, you chose that outfit.
Yeah.
So
it's part of growing and becoming who you are now.
You don't feel manipulated, at least.
Yeah. So you've got no regrets.
No. Not creatively.
Yeah.
You know, personally, you're like, oh.
Well, we've all got that. We've all got that. So looking back over your colossal career that you've already had, with so many years still to come, what has been sort of the outstanding shining moment of that career? Is it even possible to pluck it out of those years?
I think if I'm going to go for just career accomplishments and things like that, I think it still blows my mind that I got to win Album of the Year at the Grammys when I was 20.
Amazing.
It really doesn't feel like something that actually happened So I think looking back on that, it looks like I'm watching some movie of somebody else's life.
How fab. That's so cool. And in 10 years, where do you want to be?